No,
No, it's
you're not
so
there yet.
disappointing. It's so disappointing.
How did you like the sermon on greed? Did anything speak to you? You asked me about it a couple of weeks ago, but I never. I
Oh
asked
yeah,
you.
my wife asked me when we got home. Yeah, how could I? How could I? What
Like,
did
do you
she?
feel like you're always trying to get more and more and more, or do you find yourself more just like, hey, I've been given these gifts, I'm trying to be faithful with them, and
I mean, the thing is, generosity is not about giving a lot of money, right? Generosity, actually, the true generosity to me would be, first of all, I guess it's heart. It's all heart based, so like where your heart's at. But in terms of monetary amount, it would be very much. Feels very weird giving a sermon holding smelling salts in my hand. It's like a little doobie or something. Anyways, I used to smoke a lot of pot when I was younger. That's why my memory's bad. But or it's because I'm a Beekman, one of the two. Beekmans have horrible memories. Mine's go very young. It's very, I'm just trying to like really use my brain right now while it's still working moderately well. But the whole greed thing is like, hey, you're not, unless you're sacrificially giving, you're not being generous, right?
right.
To some degree. It's like this idea of like, oh, this guy gave a big check. Well, like he's worth 50 million. Like who cares if he gave 300 grand? Like it's not a big check. Like that's just, there's people that are literally living hand to mouth in our church that are tithing, that are just like really can't afford to tithe, and it's humbling, right?
Yeah.
And I have seen that in a little bit, that I don't see anything at our church who gives what, but just in my life as an entrepreneur and just seeing how people, it's humbling to see how people give, people that don't have a lot, right? And I think because they probably haven't had money grab a hold of them the way that somebody maybe that has some level of, I think like there's this idea of when you're in this, upper to middle class, which is where a lot of our culture is now. They weren't when they immigrated, obviously. Like my dad was telling my son stories the other day about his parents when they immigrated in the 50s and how poor they were, and renting for years and years, and so prudent and saving up their down payment and barely getting by, right? And it's interesting because now we've entered into a period, and this is what I think is really unfair for people in our generation, is that we have been in my working life in the last 20 years, anyone that was prudent, right, got left behind by governments printing money. And so it really bothers me, because I'm thinking, hey, everything that you were taught to do in the 70s, 80s, 60s, whatever, going way back, all these people like, Marie's grandma who's 89, rails on about, the early days and being, save your money. Well, you could not save enough money to become financially well off in the last 20 years. You just got left behind by everyone that borrowed like crazy and bought assets, right? Yeah. And so we're having a bit of a correction of that now, but I just feel like on the sense of generosity for me, it's way more, I struggle with entitlement. I struggle with the idea of, hey, like,
what about like
driving a nice truck, or just the idea of like, hey, I can eat out here. I can do like, am I willing to get, like Marie challenged, are you willing to give those things up, or you think you deserve that? Or even going on a holiday, it's like, hey, it doesn't need to be perfect. Like those types of things, when I say that, I cringe internally. It's like, I want it to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's a horrible way to live, and it's like, no.
What about like the pastor said that usually rich people, when they get rich, that's when they become even more greedy. Like they want even more than it cycles, it gets
so
worse.
I don't feel personally, I know a lot of people like that. I haven't felt that that's been my struggle as much. I feel way more convicted about the areas in my life where I find comfort in the fact that I'm okay financially, and it's BS. If you think about Job, like I always think about Job, gone in an instant, right? And that could happen to me. And it might happen to me. And like what I ask myself is, and when I'm sitting in that sermon is like, I ask the Lord, would I be as happy and joyful and generous and caring for others and wanting to help others if I had almost no means myself and I was barely getting by, and I was, milking cows for someone else, and just,
I think it's possible that you'd be more happy.
Are you just thinking I can't be any less happy than I am now, or?
No, well, no, I have my own experience.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't that like a big extreme. I didn't lose a whole bunch of businesses or something, but like definitely went to like nothing, and like was really struggling.
You weren't less happy.
No, because at first I think I've talked
your personal life was in shambles though when you were well off too. So that.
Yes, but when it started getting better, like I didn't have the money to go look at like what truck to buy next month or next year, or what property to go look at, or what thing, like what vacation I could go on. And so I didn't spend time looking at those things. So I just had like, not always wanting more, because it wasn't even an option. Couldn't go out as much, and so I would spend way more time at home with the kids, and which was way better for them. Like they don't always need to be entertained to death. They just
don't need anything. They actually literally just, my kids have the most fun just doing very menial things.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so hard to get that through.
And so it was better for the marriage because I wasn't always escaping. So like I think there is an aspect of like, hey, when you don't have a lot, you don't have to worries of like where to spend the money, like what to go do, like entertain yourself to death.
Everything you have owns a little piece of you.
Yes.
And like, It is bizarre.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you enjoy that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, bringing the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.